Hello lovely people, today I wanted to do a review of a book that I read recently, that is Two Trees Make a Forest by Jessica J. Lee.
Sophie Vlogs.
This is a piece of non-fiction. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, so this is a positive review, and I just wanted to sort of unpack what I enjoyed about this book. It's a mix of sort of nature writing, personal memoir, and then it's also exploring a whole bunch of different topics like language, migration, memory, that sort of thing. Start by talking about the nature writing aspect of this. This is why I picked this book up, because I think my nature writing reading has been quite focused on specifically like where I live, the country I am from, because that's the nature I'm familiar with. And I have been enjoying introducing myself to the physicality of places that I have never been before through books. So I have never been to Taiwan, and so it was very interesting to get a better understanding of what Taiwan is like physically. The book is split into sections, and they're sort of named after different things. So one is like island, there's another that's like air, and so different sections sort of explore different aspects of the physicality of Taiwan. I found it extremely interesting, very much understanding like the seismology of Taiwan, because it is on that ring of fire, as it is termed. So all of the earthquakes and stuff like this, how does this affect the physical landscape? And then also insights into like native plants and how climate change is affecting the physicality. And then also tying into this, she also does go into sort of the botanical history of Taiwan. So the history of botany as a subject. And I found that incredibly interesting, because botany is one of those topics that I would call myself like an enthusiast, but I don't know a huge amount. So just getting this understanding of what the botanical history in Taiwan was like and how it developed and that sort of thing, super duper interesting. So I really loved the nature writing aspect of this. There is also the personal memoir side of this. So Jessica J. Lee is British Canadian Taiwanese, so her grandparents moved from China to Taiwan and then from Taiwan to Canada. She's going to Taiwan to write this book after both of her grandparents have passed, so there is this attempt to connect with personal history that is so innately tied to memory, because her grandfather, before he passed away, had dementia. So she's partly exploring some of these writings of her grandparents that they found, which are his life story, and sort of marrying up how you remember someone with then learning about them as sort of like an independent being. I think all kids sort of have to go through that journey of understanding that like your parents and your grandparents are people on their own. Because she's talking about her grandfather's dementia, there is also this discussion of the unreliability of memory, which I felt like was contrasted really beautifully with her mother returning to Taiwan, and how, although everything has completely changed and therefore it can be really hard to find her way around the city, when she's in particular places, that memory comes back. She so innately remembers like the physicality, the beach, the plants, that sort of thing. So this look at like unreliability of memory, but then also when your memory is so solid, this constant examination of how do you remember things and can you rely on your memory, and that sort of thing was just like a really interesting thread that ran throughout this. And I found it really moving, especially as it goes on and she's talking about her memories of her grandfather and her grandparents and this sort of thing, and how much she didn't know about them until after they'd already gone. I just found that all incredibly moving and touching. That is also innately linked to also her going to Taiwan, and sort of the moments of disconnect versus the moments of connection. A lot of that is tied up in language, because she cannot speak the same language as some of these relatives that they have found. And so then this idea of feeling disconnected from your own heritage, but then equally she has moments in this which are so bright and joyful, that are like intense connection. So again, it's this sort of walking of these paths that are quite complex, and there aren't really easy answers and solutions and stuff. Sometimes it is just like a messy journey you have to go on in order to get those highs and those lows. And I just felt like she did it in a way that is really like quiet and contemplative, that I really appreciated being able to sit with and sort of just like see through her eyes what this experience is like. So I have seen some reviews online that critiqued this because of the pacing, saying it was quite slow and that sort of thing. Personally, I really liked that. I liked that we were sort of like having these slow but deep looks at things and being able to really sit. And I found some of that like quiet and pace sort of added to me being so affected by it at times. So yeah, that's definitely something to bear in mind if you're interested in reading this, like what type of a pace do you like in a book. But for me, I just thought this worked really, really well, and I had a really good time, and I found myself really affected. I'll draw it to a close there, because otherwise we're just in danger of waffling. But I just wanted to sort of pop all of those thoughts in a quick video upon finishing this. I had a really fun time. If you have any recommendations for like nature writing and stuff that you think I would enjoy, please do let me know. I'm always on the lookout for more. Otherwise, I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you next time for something different.